All right. Also, if you guys have anything you want me to go over for education sessions or like YouTube videos or anything like that, just DM me your ideas or put them in the chat or something. So give the market a few minutes, see if we settle down a little bit here. Big spike on open there. Delta's still perfectly correlated. Really strong delta on the open there. So see how this 45.90 area reacts? To get some buying pressure on open, but a lot of selling coming in. NQ's just kind of in a range. Did have a delta divergence on ES there, 600 negative delta. And it was right at a derived zone. Still closed up though. Could mean sellers are in though. So see if selling reacts to this 45.90 area. It's weird that the deltas are so different. You had negative 1150, I had negative 600. It's weird that's so different. I would expect it to be a little different if we're using different data feeds, but not double what mine is. Struggling around this 45.90 at this very moment. Now we're breaking through, finding some buying. Just had triple stacked buy imbalance, derived zone formed. See if we can move up into 93, then 95 on ES here. I don't want to chase long up here. Doesn't stick to our levels, so we were looking for dips into 78 to 70 to get bought. Never dipped into there. We could watch for sellers to step in around 90 to 95 or 98. We'll see if that happens, but market is pretty choppy right now though. NQ is pretty choppy, I should say. Haven't really done too much, only up 30 points since the open. Usually sometimes you get like a 100-point rally first few minutes. We did push into 93. on ES. Finding a bit of selling there.
Order target filled. Order filled.
Market is volatile this morning. Volatile. Wow. I'm still not used to NQ and how fast it moves. Like, it is pretty wild. Using Sniper, trading NQ, it's like very, very quick. I'm more of an ES guy. Yeah, like I can actually think about what I'm doing, you know? I can't really think when I'm trading NQ. You just have to do, and if you think, then you're gonna miss it. Or you're gonna catch the wrong way. Yes, you can actually take your time, kind of think about what you wanna do. Yeah, well you really do have to have an auto instinct on NQ. Okay, we're in a range, pretty tight range right now. I'd wait for this range. If you're using the sniper strategy, wait for this range to break before you take any trades. This range right here, wait for it to break and find a direction. ES, very tight range again. Not really doing too much on ES. I did say trend mode on the open. I do think that was the right call. I don't know if you guys got any trades off of that. But yeah. Still chopping in this range. Really want to see us either break above like 900 or break below 850. That might give us a little more momentum in a direction. ES, I think the cleanest setup's going to be us moving up into 95 or 4,600, not 6,000, and finding sellers. Looks like this candle is about to close up on ES with negative delta again. So some early indications that sellers are present. Could be turning into a regressive state up in this high price range, right? NQ's still in a range, honestly. Not a super tight range, but it's pretty tight, so. That was a nice trade, C3. Your delta is so different than mine, but yeah. So you took this trade, breaking through this derived zone, strong delta here. This only showed negative 600 for me. Still nice trade. And we did have a triple stacked buy here. So it would have gotten entered around here. So 3 points is slightly off, but could have gotten a couple points from that, potentially. Yeah, if you're using Rithmic data, it's going to show the same as me. I think C3 uses, what is it, Kintech or Kinetic or something. So we're in a pretty tight range. There's some volatility picking in. Lots of selling. Stepping in. Look at ES as well. 500, 150, 150, 175, 500. So some big selling stepping in. Looks like people adding to the order book right above us on the ask.
Order filled. Target filled.
And I'm done trading on the evals. 3-0 on the evals already. 5 minutes. I'll go over it. Sorry I can't call them out because it's so fast. I'll get better. But I'd watch for a pullback here on NQ. Let's see what happens. It's looks like sellers are stepping into the market. Big negative delta on the previous candle. Burnt meaning it shot right up. Yeah. Yeah, well, what can you do? It does look to me like the market wants to pull down. Just a matter of when, but also buying in the past week or two, it's just been like straight up in the market. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but getting some ODD here on NQ. No trapped orders or anything, but moving up on less volume could be an early sign of us pulling down. See if that happens, obviously. Just in a very tight range. If you look at this 30-second chart, this is NQ. It's a very tight range. Really don't want to be trading in this range. Wait for a breakout of this range, right? Getting some buying. Technically, this is just about a simplicity long right here. You break above this candle's high. Kind of breaking out of this range right now as well. Buying, not crazy strong though on Bookmap. So, be a risky one. Yeah, buying on Bookmap's not crazy strong. We did technically just have HD on Sniper. So looking at Sniper here for you guys, so for those interested, technically this is HD. It's first pullbacks here. This would be the second pullback, but it is in a lot of chop. So it'd be very, very risky taking that. It did end up working out fine. Like, I think most of the time NQ is just so fast, it ends up shooting right to your target. Or right to stop loss, basically. But it did end up working. Just when it's 2 to 3 bar chop or coil chop, it is a lot more risky. But I was going with trend, ETX, as well as HD, so a lot going for you there. Yeah, ETX you can take in chop, but from my testing, my back testing, whatever you want to call it, honestly, HD ODD trades work like they're the most consistent, right? Because I like to play the market off of volume and price, right? Volume, order flow, price. And what is HD and ODD? It's volume, so it makes sense to me. Did just have another HD trade technically, and so right here, technically HD, we had first pullback here, second pullback here, right? We're in chop though, you know what I'm saying? We're in chop, 2 3 2 3. Your entry probably would have been around here. That would have been 4. Would have been about somewhere around 7, 8 ticks potentially. Depends on your entry. Would have been about 6 or 7 ticks, so that would have been a loss most likely. But exactly why? Try to stay out of the chop, right? It looks like a good play going with the downtrend with DR, but it's just chops risky. So I'll show you my trades for a minute here. Take you about 5 seconds. So let me switch to this. First trade was right here. We had a nice trend, right? Nice trend, downtrend. 65% enter, exit. Then about 15 seconds later, we had HD. First pullback, second pullback, third pullback, 350% was an SLZ and a TX. Enter, exit, win. And then, let's see, the last trade. I might have technically missed this trade, which might have been HD, but it was on a range. Ranges are not as pretty. Then we kind of broke out of the range, right? So range kind of ended here, kind of broke out of the range. First pullback, second pullback, enter, exit. So there we go. This looks like it would have been a HD trade technically, but I didn't catch it, so I guess a little lucky for me, because I think that would have. Yeah, Pepper, I don't really take those into consideration too much. You can see my take profit was basically right there, right at the wall and the dev. So it is more risky if your entry was like right before it, right? But if you can get like a bar or 2 bars, right? 2 bars right here, right at the walls, that's a little bit different, but also NQ tends to move right through those most of the time, right? But it's all on your understanding of the market and Bookmap too, and seeing the speed of the tape, the speed of the market. So on that last trade, I could see the market was speeding up a lot, and ended up working out pretty well. Those first 2 trades though, they skipped right to my take profit. Like, let me look at what this says. So So just look at this. Only trading the evals right now. Don't see anything I love on the funded. Trade lifespan. 0.18. That's about 0.2 of a second. Next trade, half a second long. Final trade, 2 seconds. So, yeah, you know, a total of 2.7 seconds of trading today for me. So pretty decent, but yeah, haven't taken anything on the funded yet. ES relatively choppy. I've used Sniper. Well, I just got back into it just because I figure it'd be good for my analysis for you guys as well. Meaning, it can help me provide better analysis for you guys. Then, figure it's good to have. So I like looking at the levels, things like that. Also for you guys. I just got back into it recently. I used it for like a month or a month and a half before. But the thing is, I only traded ES with it, so I didn't really trade NQ. And I think that was my problem. Because ES moves a lot slower. So if you take a look at the ES chart, so far this morning, first of all, ES reacts to levels a lot more than NQ. So keep that in mind. So, like, if anything's in your way on an ES trade, you need to be very, very careful. So there's a great chance that we react that, like, look at all this mess right here, right? There's lots of dynamic magnets, lots of zones, settlement, right? So it's gonna be tough for us to break through this, right? And we're pulling back right now, reacting to these levels a lot. NQ, there's a lot of levels, but there's also a lot of space to blast through these, and there's a lot more trades too. Like, I got 3 trades in 5 minutes today. So far, there's 0 trades on it on ES, right? So NQ doesn't really care that much about levels, unless you get something like settlement, a wall, and a dev like stacked on top of each other. Then probably not the smartest play, right? Probably not the smartest play. But like ES really reacts to these levels. So yeah, I've used it Sniper for maybe a total of 2 months total. And I'm just starting to figure out what works best, in my opinion. And if you guys want me to make like an in-depth video for Sniper, I can try to do that. But yeah, maybe 2 months total. But yeah, if you guys are just getting into Sniper, it is free. Like, it's good to look at for levels and stuff as well. Like, obviously my style of trading is supply and demand bookmap, right? I hope you guys like looking at bookmap because it is very, very key. Like, it's very, very good if you understand it. And yeah, but I still am using like my normal style on my funded account. Supply and demand, key levels, things like that. There just hasn't been a lot happening lately, frankly. And I am only doing ES on the funded accounts. So just not as much happening. Like, it's just a straight move up, and it's very hard for me to trade on a straight move up. Just because it doesn't make lots of sense to me on why we would get in, right? There's no good risk reward if I'm getting in on this rally, right? If I jumped in on open when we broke above 90, where am I going to put my stop loss? It has to be like under 80, and I don't want to risk 10 points, right? That was just a random example, but yeah. It's a lot easier when the market's almost in like a range, right? Because you have an expectation of what's going to happen. Like, oh, if we break this level, we're going to move back to this level. But when we're moving straight up, it's a lot more difficult, I think, so. Getting some ODD here on
Order
NQ.
filled.
SLZ as well. Volume's dying out in the market, though. That's for sure.
Target filled.
Little win there. I just did sim because... So, again, why I like these HD trades, ODD trades. We're moving down in a trend, less volume. So we're getting some exhaustion down here. We had an SLZ and a TX trapped order. Also volume clusters, meaning there's a little fight down here, right? Read the market, moving probably back up to this wall. There's also a lot below us. We have quite a few levels below us, so. Yeah, I can try to make like an in-depth sniper guide. Or I could make like a little mini sniper course. Like I know Apex has a sniper like walkthrough and stuff, but if you guys want, I could also make one that's maybe easier to understand. But lots of options, right? Yeah, not too much happening. We do have news here in a few minutes, so it is probably smartest to sit sidelined for the next 5-10 minutes. Just let this news settle, see what happens, okay? Did just have ODD form on NQ. Trapped order 75% new high. It's kind of in a range right now, so a little more risky. And we do have news coming out, which is, I just said, be careful with that. And we are struggling, and we just shot down to it. I've been using the auto break-even thing that Pepper put in the chat. So far, I haven't actually had it break me out even. I haven't lost a trade, technically. Yesterday, I had one where it hit 8 ticks, and then moved 1 tick away from the break-even, and then shot back up. So it's a little risky, because if it does hit 8 ticks and struggles for half a second, then you're probably going to get stopped at break even if it's going to shoot back up. So can be a little risky, I feel like, but if it saves you, yeah, well, I'm just saying it is better than a full stop out. If it moves up to 8 ticks though and breaks you even and then moves back up to your win like immediately, like that almost happened to me yesterday, but it might be better than taking the risk, you know? Like, I think there was... I looked at a trade pre-market, hit 8 ticks, and then reversed and stopped out, right? But, yeah, honestly, if it can prevent... It might prevent a couple wins from happening, right? But if it can prevent a few losses from happening, the losses are bigger than the wins. So, it hopefully plays out to your benefit in the long run. I'm gonna keep testing it out and we'll see what happens, but looks like we're getting ODD here potentially on NQ. Moving down on less volume. Still very, very choppy this morning. There's To me, nothing worth trading right now. The price and delta on polarity is still perfectly correlated. I mean, we did have that one divergence trade on open, but watch for some ODD here. News is coming out right now, though, which is why we're getting that volatility pickup. Getting a breakout of this range. So see if we get some more downside now. If ES breaks below, like, I'd say 86, 88, 88, 86 area, might see a little bit more pullback. We'll see though. Definitely getting some selling though. Yeah, there's that. There's ODD there on NQ. That was a win. 20% when we moved down. Happened very, very quickly. Right? Here we're getting HD.
Order
looks
submitted.
Like.
Order filled.
Risky trades. News just came out, right? I said wait probably 5 minutes, let that news settle. Right? It's not, if you see a trade, doesn't really matter if you see a trade. Does it make logical sense to
Stop
take it?
filled.
Right? Oh, okay. I just took that HD trade on the sim. Want to make that very clear. So it had the break even thing, right? Just testing it out. Technically, this was HD. And since we got a poor fill, got a fill here. Technically, 2 bars profit is right here. So we got fill at 35.5. So 33.5. So it hit the take profit to the tick, didn't fill because it was so fast. And boom, stopped at break even. Just about break even. That was 1 tick loss, right? So that saved. It would have been a loss there. So instead of losing $109 for that trade, then you only lost like $5 on the 1 tick and then the commission, so like $8. Yeah, stay away from like low impact news is generally fine, but medium impact and high impact news, I mean, just sit sideline for 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after. That's all you got to do. Let it settle down, okay? And that's one of the reasons why, right there. I mean, we did just have an ODD win at 10:01. Then we had an HD technically loss, maybe break even if you're using the strategy. So, you know, really depends. But let me take a peek at the chart again. I haven't looked at the chart in a little while. All right, so let's see here. Look at this. So NQ, we did bounce out of this. Oh, I'm on a 5-minute chart. Okay, did bounce out of this demand zone right on the open here. Broke above this trend line. Held it, right? Broke above, retested it, right? Could have gotten maybe 20 points out of that if you took the trade like that, but we are back in demand. So if you break below 800, Might see a little bit more downside, but we're also in demand, so it's a little risky. ES. We broke through this trend line early pre-market. Held our blue fair value gap / support zone. Rallied right back up into this resistance. Couldn't break it. Now we're crashing back down. So still none of the levels have played out on ES like we wanted, really. So yeah, not too much going on. I'd say trend mode's still proper move right now on polarity. Hector, I think it's in the general chat if you want to scroll up. See. Yeah, scroll up like a tiny bit in the general chat. I think that it is a pretty good idea to use the break-even strategy, because usually the sniper trades, if they're most likely to work if they're going to shoot right to your take profit, right? And if it hits 8 ticks and struggles, it is more likely to lose, right? So you're taking a probability. I think I'm going to head out for the morning. Our ES levels haven't played out yet. Doesn't look like they're probably going to play out for a little while. NQ's in demand right now. So can watch for NQ to... It's also at the bottom of this trend line, right? So see if we hold down here. But I'd say watch 800 on NQ. Watch 880 and 750. ES still waiting for the 75, 70 level to react. But yeah, that's all we got for the morning. Looking like the market wants to pull back, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, we'll be back. Tomorrow is Friday, last day of the week tomorrow. And yeah, put in the chat, made profit, put in that profit and loss channel. But also, if you have any ideas for education sessions that you guys want, or YouTube videos, just put it in the chat. I'll take a look. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for live stream. Last live stream of the week. So have a good rest of the day, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.